Those of you who know, and those of you who don't, I shall do a little bit of recap. As a former fat kid, as somebody who at the age of 16 was tipping the scales in on and around 400 pounds, now doing a little bit better for myself. Just saying. Childhood obesity is something that I take pretty seriously, because I know back in the day, back when I was growing up, around that 2006, 2007, 2008 marker, when I was dropping off vast sums of weight, it was a little bit easier back at that time. Now, with all the different additives, the incentives for everybody to stay inside, a much more, I hate to sound like an old man, a much more digital generation where everybody's just on their devices, it's a little bit more difficult for kids to properly shed all that weight to get all the exercise that they need, mostly because it's disincentivized. Any physical activity is just toxically masculine, and they're too busy educating children on why Andrew Tate is the toxic misogynist, and that anybody going to the gym is just expressing their evil desires. So it hurts me every single time I see one of those articles, and I just want to scream from the top of the roofs that if it wasn't for inspiration to lose weight, chances are I'd still be just a fat lump of crap not accomplishing anything in life. But now, down, no word of a lie, about 200 pounds. Go and check the first video that I ever published. I don't have it for easy reference to pull up. It's normally just on my phone, and I would use it as, inspiration for former clients. It's like, you don't know what it's like to be fat. And it's like, well, here, you can go peek it. But yeah. My breaking point was at 16 years old, going shopping, going into the 10th grade, and realizing that I couldn't fit into a triple XL t-shirt any longer. That was the point in time when I realized I had to make a change. Otherwise, the rest of my life was just going to be terrible with different things in my orbit. And now, on the other side, are just a shade over 200 at 6'6", with about 9% body fat. I'm doing pretty good for myself. But all of the kids today, they're just being reinforced that, it's just body positivity. You're fine whatever size you are. And then I look and I see that it would be impossible in some of these places that are out there, in Walmarts and Targets and I don't know, whatever, Macy's and stuff like that. I'm seeing sizes of 5, 6, 7X shirts. I would have never, ever, ever had my breaking point if things were as easy as they were today. So if there's something that I can do in order to help some people out there, more than willing, man, to give back. New guidelines on treating childhood obesity from the American Academy of Pediatrics calls for early and aggressive treatment, including weight loss drugs. You dirty bastards. For children as young as 6 and barbaric surgery for youths as young as 13 instead of what you would call watchful waiting or unnecessary delay of appropriate treatment for children. Yeah, no, it's all about, kids, you don't feel a certain way? Well, great, we'll just put you under the knife. The easy way out every single time. I hate it. And these are the experts that are out there. Guidelines immediately stirred controversy. Critics on the left concerned about unequal access to treatment. Yes, of course, and conservative commentators suggesting the guidelines offer an easy out for poor lifestyle choices. I don't disagree. Critics from across the spectrum have noted the potential long-term consequences of putting children on drugs and performing irreversible surgery on teenagers. Yeah, in normally different vocations, but the whole pill pusher culture that was around back when I was in school. So yeah, it's just a new problem with an old, tired, failed solution. Lifestyle choices typically mean more exercise, along with less processed food and more fruits and vegetables in the diet, but no one in the mainstream is suggesting the solution is to allow children to eat more natural saturated fat. Fair enough. Yeah, just eat some more fruits. Don't worry about fructose or anything like that so that you develop a fatty liver by the time that you're 14. About a year ago, my co-author, not mine, the article's author, colleague Mary Enig, okay, that sounds like a slur, who held a doctorate in nutritional science, has an interesting conversation with the U.S. official of Department of Agriculture. Remember when they were pushing the food pyramid with your 10 to 12 servings of grain every day? Fantastic. The agency has researched the best way to fatten pigs. Research that has never been published. When they feed pigs whole milk or coconut oil, the pigs stayed lean. That makes sense. You found out the best way to fatten pigs was to feed them skim milk. Oh, Lord, just all of the sugar, none of the fat. Great. The department's dietary guidelines stipulated reduced fat milk for all Americans above the age of 2. Great, yeah, just go out there and have your 2%. What's the worst that could happen? Yay. The policy initiated in the 1990s. Yeah, because I remember back when the little food canteens were out there, there was chocolate milk, which was That might have been whole milk. It might have been 1%. I can't quite remember. It's one of the two. But there was, yeah, for your milk option, it was good old 2%. And 2% has been through the pasteurization process. The fat was reduced from it, and you got all of the sugar, all of the nonsense, but only a portion of the fat. Great, fantastic. First published on, or in 2006 in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, looked at a diet and metabolic markers in 4-year-old children in Sweden. High body mass index was associated with a low percentage of energy from fat. Okay, the greater weight was related to greater insulin resistance, especially in girls. In other words, children on low-fat diets tended to be overweight and had markers for presage diabetes later in life. Yeah, because I'm thinking like the go-to reason why I got so catastrophically fat, it was all high sugar, low-fat foods and an inadequate amount of exercise. Yeah, no, that all checks out. Second study published in 2013 in the Archives of Diseases of Children, specifically at children consuming reduced fat milk, comparing the body mass index of those drinking 1% skim and 2% whole milk drinkers. Okay. Whole milk in quotation, 3%, 3.5% to 5% for whole milk, or yeah, whatever. Across all racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic status subgroups, those drinking 1% skim milk had an increased adjusted odds of being overweight or obese. Interesting. In longitudinal analysis, children drinking 1% skim milk at both 2 and 4 years were more likely to become overweight, obese than those between these time points. In other words, children on skim milk are more likely to become fat, just like pigs do. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So, the kind of milk that children get in public schools, are they preferred 1% skim milk or chocolate milk? Yeah, okay, yeah, so take a look at what's inside. Chocolate milk, which was always the fastest. Oh man, in 4th grade I worked at the milk cantina? I think so. And even the schools knew exactly what's up. Like, I'm not telling any tales out of class. There was always a higher delivery, and kids would be using their little punch cards to get, just a little carton of chocolate milk. Like, nobody would be square and get the little gay pink little 250s of white milk, except for the goody two-shoes. Like, come on now. First ingredient is a non-fat milk, not even 1% milk, and the second ingredient is sugar, approximately 14 grams of added sugar on top of the already copious amounts of sugar as well. Oh, and then you got cornstarch. Oh, bananama. So, you got fats, you got added carbohydrates, and then you got carrageenan, which is used in labs to simulate and to stimulate inflammation in lab rats, but it's just used as a shelf stabilizer. And natural and artificial flavors. You have no idea what any of those are. Vitamin A palmate and vitamin D3. Yeah, so instead of just going out into the sun, you can just drink it in your sugary disaster. The food industry and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration insists that there is nothing wrong with MSG. Sorry, what? Oh, right. Artificial flavors. Yeah, that's being masqueraded as MSG. Just saying. Okay. Insists that there's nothing wrong with MSG. There's nothing wrong with it, and that's why every Chinese restaurant says, never cook with MSG. No MSG. However, if you search MSG-induced obesity in PubMed, you will come up with almost 100 citations. Most of the citations are animal studies, not human trials. And the food industry has argued that the amount of MSG given to animals is way more. Yeah, of course. No, it's just animals, right? Sure. Whatever happens when we consume small amounts of MSG is a flavoring a day after day after day. Yeah, then guess what? You build up a tolerance and you need to have more, ergo there. That's why you have little fat kids running around. Okay, most of the study prepared their meals at home without commercially processed food, and about 82% used MSG. Those participants who used the highest amounts of MSG had nearly 3 times the incidence of being overweight and those who did not use MSG. So our school children get low-fat sugar bombs with a pinch of obesity-inducing MSG for lunch every day. And you're not even factoring in everything else that has artificial flavoring as well. Sounds counterintuitive, but the solution to the problem of obesity in our children is to have more natural saturated fat containing important vitamins, especially vitamin A. Full fat milk, butter, cheese, and meat cooked with the fat. These foods support healthy thyroid metabolism and hormone production in ways that help them stay energetic and lean. Above all, the foods promote satiation. satiety, and stable blood sugar. So children will be less likely to indulge in processed foods, and there it is, many of which contain MSG. As if you needed more justification to make sure that your kids have a nutritious lunch packed and that you can't rely on the public school system, there you go. You can get full-fat chocolate milk. I'm pretty sure about that, or at least have much more natural and less processed versions of chocolate additives to make the whole milk chocolate flavor, if your kids are just down for that, I guess, if you're just trying to give them a healthy alternative. But yo, man, I'm seeing a significant lack of exercise. But hey, if you're putting your kids on a much more stable diet plan, well, they're going to have more energy, and then you can just ship them outside. They just don't have to go through the struggle that far too many kids are having to in today's day and age. So, with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.